We're here at the Maidstone, the official hotel of the Hampton International Film Festival. And joining me now is Amy Glazer. She is the director of the film Seducing Charlie Barker. And Amy, let's talk about Seducing Charlie Barker. That's a sexy title for a movie.
It is a sexy title. It began as a play by Teresa Rebeck called The Scene. And it's a modern-day morality play about an out-of-work actor who meets a young succubus, is what I want to call her. She seems like a complete moron. And within moments just begins this downward fall. It reminds me of the opening of Mad Men. I mean, I feel like that's his journey, but it also is a very satirical look at the entertainment industry, and about, you know, what our values are as a society and as a culture, and what happens when you value meaninglessness as opposed to meaning.
You have a very interesting cast here as well. In fact, you have Stephen Barker Turner. Now, is that a coincidence, or how did that work out?
You mean, is his name a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. When I was shooting a scene of him as an actor, a flashback, at Cal Shakes, there was the tape of his name on his mirror, and it said Mr. Barker. And there was something so innocuous and also ubiquitous about the name Barker. So I felt like somehow it's an everyman story and his name, so I just pulled out his middle name. It's so irritating, these actors with three names. I have two actors like that. I have Stephen Barker Turner and David Wilson Barnes, and I found myself always saying their names, so I thought, well, I'll take Barker. But when I changed it from the scene, I turned it into the title Seducing Charlie Barker, I thought, why not be able to keep that shot, which I loved, and keep his name? So hence the title.
And so what do we know him from? What else has he been in?
Well, most of the actors, other than Daphne Zuniga, who is from Spaceballs and Melrose Place, they're all theater actors. And like me, that's where we come from. My first language, I guess, is that of stage directing and theater. So, but as it turned out, both of my features are films that I first directed as a play and then reconstructed or deconstructed as a film. And I felt really comfortable with this group of actors because we had all done the play. The two men, Stephen and David, had done it at the Humana Festival for the world premiere, and I had done the West Coast premiere with Heather Gordon, who has won many awards for this, actually, in all the different festivals we've been in for acting, and Daphne, who is fabulous in this. And so it was kind of like the Brady Bunch. Teresa Rebeck, the playwright, brought the two men, and I brought the two girls. And because we had all done the play and had a month of rehearsal and 2 months of running it, there was a second language and a kind of a shorthand that made directing it a different experience than maybe your typical film directing experience, because there was this connection to the character and to the world of the play that was pretty rich.
So what are the challenges of taking a play and turning it into a movie, into a feature?
Great question. The challenge is dialogue. Plays are very dialogue driven, and although both a play and a film can be character driven, character in a play is often revealed through dialogue. So I've been compared a lot to Woody Allen, and I think it's because there's so much dialogue in this, and believe me, there's about 45 minutes that were left on the cutting room floor. But I guess the challenge is dialogue, how to tell the story visually, and how to somehow not let the dialogue determine, you know, the I don't know, the tone or the feel. It's tricky. There was a lot of dialogue. Also, my brother, who is an angel on this, Mitch Glazer, who's also a filmmaker and a screenwriter, really helped me to trust the visual storytelling and to kind of get rid of a lot of the dialogue. So I had an angel for sure.
Other than your brother, you also have other family members who are theatrical. There are a lot of family members in the business. Do you want to talk a little bit about your uncle and other members of the family?
My uncle, Sidney Glazer, produced the original film, The Producers, and both my brother and I were on the set we were living with him that summer for the entire shooting of The Producers, and I hold that accountable for my satirical sensibility for sure. It definitely layered in a kind of a dark view of humor, but because of my uncle, who was also a huge lover of theater, I think for both my brother and me, he was the one that really showed us the way and kind of seduced us with how exciting storytelling can be and how important structure was. And I think that one of the things that defines me as a filmmaker, because I am a theater director, is my great adherence to text and to structure.
And what was your other film? This one is Seducing Charlie Barker, and the other film that you did?
The other film was by Stephen Belber, who's also a playwright and a filmmaker, and it was called Drifting Elegant. And you can now download it on Netflix and get it through DVD on most venues. And I'm also very proud of that. And again, that was a play that was a world premiere that I directed first as a play, and then wasn't finished with it, and always felt that it was more of a film than a play. And so the interesting thing about this film is that I had no intention of turning it into a film. It was a play, and a patron at the theater where I'm now the associate artistic director came.
And which theater is that?
And this is in San Francisco, called the SF Playhouse in downtown San Francisco. And this man, Maurice Kambar, who created Sky Vodka, came and saw it and said, this should be a film. And he took me out to Scala's for dinner, and by the end of the night, he said, can you do a film for just about nothing? And I went, oh, yeah, no problem. And before I knew it, I literally, he took me out to dinner in, I don't know, September, and in October I was shooting.
And a year later, your film is here at the Hamptons Film Festival.
Right, which is pretty surreal, actually, to see the film now making its way out to audiences and to see how audiences respond to it, because it is, I mean, it's satirical, but it's also kind of horrifying, because this is a world with values that so define some of the strange and bad behavior of our culture. And there's something delicious about being able to really explore bad behavior. I mean, you know, drama at its core is most dramatic when people behave badly. And so this is a play about very bad behavior.
And your film.
You see, I'm already calling it a play.
Seducing Charlie Barker. It's playing at the festival on Sunday and on Monday.
Right.
What are your expectations? Because I know this is not the first time you've screened it.
No, we're probably at the end of our festival circuit. My expectations, first of all, I'm looking desperately for distribution. I want it to get out into the world. We've won all sorts of awards on a grassroots level, and so I'm hoping that people will respond to that. But I just hope people come and love it.
All right, well, best of luck. And the film is Seducing Charlie Barker, and the website is seducingcharliebarker.com. Right? Amy, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.